Why you refuse to spend money on yourself. It's not being thrifty. Your bank account is growing, your savings are locked tight, and yet you're still wearing socks with holes in them. Why? You have the money, you earned it. But every time you even think about upgrading your life, your chest tightens. It's like a physical alarm bell goes off in your brain screaming, "Danger!" This isn't just about being smart with your finances or wanting to retire early. No, this is something much darker. It's a psychological prison that millions of people are trapped in without even realizing it. We call it aggressive frugality, but the truth is, it's a survival mechanism that has overstayed its welcome. You think you're being disciplined, but you're actually starving your own happiness. Here's the thing. By the end of this, you'll realize that your refusal to spend is actually costing you everything. Wait until you hear the real reason. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. You're thinking that you're just being frugal or minimalist. You tell yourself that you don't need those new shoes or that slightly more expensive organic steak. But let's be real for a second. Have you ever noticed how you'll happily drop $50 on a birthday gift for a friend, but you'll agonize over a $5 app that would save you 3 hours of work every week? It makes no sense, right? This is the core of the psychology we're talking about. It's an internal imbalance where your self-worth has become directly tied to the number in your banking app. You've turned your life into a game of high scores, but the prize is a life you're too afraid to actually live. It gets worse, though. This behavior isn't just a quirk, it's actually rewiring your brain. Scientists actually studied this, and what they found is absolutely wild. When most people buy something, they feel a hit of dopamine. But for you, for the person who refuses to spend, your brain doesn't see a purchase, it sees a threat. There's a part of your brain called the insula that usually lights up when you experience physical pain or smell something disgusting. In hyperfrugal people, the insula screams when they see a price tag. You're literally experiencing physical distress at the cash register. It's a biological reflex. This is why you'll drive 5 miles out of your way just to save 4 cents on a gallon of gas. You aren't doing it for the 4 cents, you're doing it to stop the pain. But here is the catch. That pain is lying to you. It's a ghost from a past you've already escaped. Actually, forget everything I just said about the brain for a moment and think about your childhood. Did you grow up in a house where money was a whisper topic? Maybe you saw your parents fighting over a heating bill, or perhaps you just felt the invisible weight of "we can't afford that" hanging over every grocery trip. That trauma doesn't just go away because you got a promotion or a high-paying tech job. It sticks. It manifests as a deep-seated fear that the floor could drop out at any second. You're not saving for a rainy day. You're bracing for a hurricane that might never come. You've built a fortress of cash, but you've locked yourself inside with nothing but the bare essentials. You're waiting for permission to finally start your life. But here is the cold, hard truth. Nobody is coming. But it gets worse. Think about the quality of your daily existence. You spend 8 hours a day in a chair that hurts your back because it still works. You use a laptop that takes 10 minutes to boot up because it's fine. You drink terrible coffee because the good stuff is a waste. You're essentially telling your subconscious mind every single day that you are not worth the investment. This is a slow-motion destruction of your self-esteem. Every time you deny yourself a small comfort that you can easily afford, you are reinforcing the idea that your needs don't matter. It's a cycle of self-neglect disguised as virtue. High-energy living requires high-quality fuel and tools, but you are trying to win a Formula One race with a rusty bicycle and a prayer. You think you're winning the money game, but you're losing everything.
Now, here is the twist you didn't see coming. By refusing to spend money on yourself, you are actually losing more money than you're saving. Think about it. When you refuse to pay for convenience, you are paying with the only currency you can never earn back: time. You'll spend 2 hours searching for a coupon to save $10. Congratulations! You just valued your life at $5 an hour. Is that what you're worth? I don't think so. This is the frugality trap. It keeps you focused on pennies while the dollars and the massive opportunities fly right past your head. People who refuse to spend on themselves often miss out on the very experiences and tools that would actually propel them to the next level of success. You're so worried about the outflow that you've completely restricted the inflow. It is total stagnation. Let's talk about your relationships, because this is where the stakes get really high. When you're obsessed with never spending, you become a friction point for everyone around you. Your friends want to go to a nice dinner, but you're the one suggesting the dollar menu. Your partner wants to go on a vacation, but you turn it into a spreadsheet of misery and budget cuts. Eventually, people stop asking. They stop inviting you because your discipline feels like a wet blanket on their joy. You end up isolated in your pile of gold like a modern-day Smaug. I know what you're thinking. They're just being irresponsible. But are they? Or are they just actually using money for its intended purpose? Money is a tool for living, not a scorecard for hoarding. If you can't use it, what is it for? Here's something truly strange. Many people who are brutal with their own spending are actually incredibly generous with others. They'll buy their mom a car or tip 20% at a restaurant, but they won't buy themselves a new pair of jeans when their current ones are literally falling apart. Why the double standard? It's because giving to others provides a social pass. It makes you feel like a good person, which offsets the guilt of having money. But spending on yourself feels like an indulgence, a sin, or a sign of weakness. It's a martyr complex. You're playing the role of the ultimate provider while ignoring the person in the mirror. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you treat yourself like a second-class citizen, eventually you'll start to believe that's all you really are. It is a tragedy. The sheer anxiety of making a choice is enough to paralyze you. Have you ever spent 45 minutes on Amazon reading reviews for a toaster, only to close the tab and not buy anything because you couldn't find the perfect value? That's not being a smart consumer. That's decision fatigue driven by a fear of regret. You're terrified that if you spend that $20 and the product isn't perfect, you've failed, you've lost. This perfectionism is a poison. It turns every small transaction into a high-stakes legal trial where you are the judge, the jury, and the executioner. You end up stuck in a state of productive procrastination where you do everything except make the actual purchase that would make your life easier. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted just talking about it. We need to break this loop right now, together. Breaking the cycle doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a Ferrari tomorrow. It means redefining what value actually looks like. Value isn't just the lowest price, it's the highest return on your life. If a better mattress gives you 10% more energy every morning for the next 10 years, that is the best investment you will ever make. If paying for a cleaning service gives you 4 hours of your weekend back to spend with your kids or work on a side hustle, that isn't an expense, it's a leverage play. You have to stop looking at the cost and start looking at the result. The most successful people in the world don't ask, how much does this cost? They ask, what does this buy me? Usually the answer is freedom, health, or joy. Those things are actually priceless. So, what is the secret I promised you at the start? The reason you can't spend is that you're looking for a feeling of safety that money can't actually provide. You think that if you reach a certain number, you'll finally feel secure enough to relax. But security is an internal state, not a bank balance. If you don't learn how to spend $100 today, you won't know how to spend $1 million later. You'll just be a rich person who is still stressed out about the price of eggs. The real wealth is the ability to use your resources to create a life you actually enjoy. If you've realized today that you've been your own toughest jailer, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and for once, that's a price your brain should love. Now, go buy that one thing.